You're tuned in to the One-on-One Show with Dr. Lucita.
Welcome to the One-on-One Show.
You're tuned in.
Welcome to iSpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality, every time. Bring your vision to life in our photo shoot studio. With natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear, stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios. Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
In trucking, time is money, and the last thing you need is insurance that slows you down. At AmeriTrust Insurance Group, we move fast, no loss runs needed, same-day quotes and binding, and rates that keep your wheels turning. From auto liability to cargo, bobtail, physical damage, and workers' comp, we're your one-stop shop for commercial trucking insurance. Licensed in multiple states, powered by real agents who answer the phone. No bots, no hold music. We know the road can be tough, but your insurance shouldn't be. You're not just hauling freight. You're building a business. Let's protect it. AmeriTrust Insurance Group. We don't just insure, we deliver.
Posez, pas fait tête chaud. Ou t'as cherché un compagnie sérieux pour faire le taxe pour là, dans des postes tout hier, et bien choix par l'autre côté. Lucita Accounting Firm. Nous avons plus que 22 ans d'expérience dans seule location. Porte nous l'ouvrir depuis le fait 9h pour arriver 7h. Consultation nous gratis. Nous avons pilote service nous bas encore. Nous faisons taxe individuelle. Taxe pour moun qui a business. Nous faisons audit pour assurance taxe. Taxe consultation. Nos affaires taxes, docteur Lucita se mettre causé à relais pour service taxe par la Kounia et pour nous éduquer dans le taxe pour joindre tout corps dans mes ARS sans manquer yon yota. Téléphone c'est 770 319 91 81. Adresse nous c'est Atlanta, Georgia.
You're tuned in to the One-on-One Show with Dr. Lucita.
Welcome to the One-on-One Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of One-on-One with Dr. Lucita. You know, we always bring you people that are doing things that are beyond our imaginations, right? So today I have a guest because you know what we don't do on One-on-One. We do not introduce our guests. There's a reason why we don't introduce our guests, because we believe that they are able to do a better job than us. So for that reason, we don't. So there's a lot of things that we do here. We ask questions. You are allowed to ask your guests questions under the live. You can communicate with us, share the live, call your friends, because there's a reason why we create one-on-one. We create one-on-one because we want to leave a legacy to our younger generation, the 14, 15, 16-year-old little kids that we want them to know that we were a child once, right? So they have to know what we've been through, our humble beginnings, and who we are today. So today on One-on-One, we have a guest that's going to do just that. So take some time, share the live. We'll be right back. Go call your friends. One-on-One is on now.
You're tuned in to the One-on-One Show with Dr. Lucita.
What we don't do, we don't introduce our guests. And today I'm here with Mr.
TJ Loftin.
TJ Loftin. I can't wait for this one-on-one. We're about to have a great conversation.
Excellent. Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes. I'm ready. Trying to get ready. Okay.
Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for coming.
Oh,
I know
anytime,
you're a busy
anytime.
guy. Tell us what your week was.
Oh, I was at these conferences, taking care of business, speaking, talking with people, just enjoying myself. Had people coming in from all over the country. So we just had a great time. Talked to everybody from the plumber to the politician, you know.
Wow. So
it
you
was
had a
amazing.
busy weekend.
Absolutely.
And then you still take time to come and talk to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for the opportunity. If I fall asleep on you, don't think it's you. It's me. I've been on my feet all day.
The conversation is going to be so great. You will not fall asleep on me because we're going to start with TJ. You said your name is TJ Loftin.
Yes, it is.
So what is your full name? Is there a story behind your name? Who are you? Tell us.
Well, not the full name, but T and J Loftin. It is my full name.
Okay, we're going to leave it like that.
Okay, so story behind it is I'm TJ Loftin, economic futurist, celebrity car builder, land developer, real estate guru, gentrification expert, national expert, travel the country, author, best-selling author, all-around businessman, you know, and coach and advisor, everything.
Wow, that's such a long list.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So all these stuff that you are able to do, how were you able to manage these things? Because we're going to go there. We're going to go to that person that you just described. But tell us about the little TJ that you can remember of. You know, if somebody don't know you're watching this live or this interview or this conversation, what would you want them to know about you?
Little TJ was curious, had lots of questions, always had looking for the answer to things that I needed to know so I can move forward. So little TJ was the guy who wanted more out of life, who wanted to save his people. What they say, I am my brother's keeper, you know. I want everybody to be okay, so I work hard to make that happen.
So where did you come from?
I grew up in Compton, California. That's in near Los Angeles. I think everybody should have heard of Compton by now, but yes, I'm one of the originals from Compton.
Tell us a little bit about that. Is there anything you can remember?
Oh, I remember it all. You know, it was shaped me, it molded me, it made me battle tested, you know.
So tell us about school. Where did you go to school?
I started off at McKinley Elementary. I used to be a latchkey kid with a key on my neck on a chain, walk home from school and go straight to lock the door and go straight to the phone and call mom, say, I made it home. You know, I made it, I'm here.
Wow.
You know.
So, were you the only child?
No, it was four of us. I have an older sister, younger sister, and a younger brother. So it's four.
And that time, because we're having a conversation, what stories can you remember around these times for you?
Growing up was interesting. You know, I noticed I grew up in the cuffs of what became my regular career, which was the lowriders, custom cars and classic cars. A lot of guys had lowriders growing up, and I remember when I was just a kid looking over the gate like, oh, wow, I want one of those, you know. when I get out the yard, when my mom finally let me cross the street, I'm going to get me one of those bouncing cars, you know.
Okay.
And so I didn't realize this thing was kind of like a hobby And then it started to. It was kind of getting. It was growing.
I think you just skipped. You just got mature on me. So let's talk about.
Oh, I was still a young guy.
You're still a young guy.
Yeah.
How old was that?
I was like 7, 8, 9.
Wow, when you start seeing lowriders.
Yes, when I was seeing lowriders and all these guys was fixing up these cars, customizing the cars, and it just really fascinated me. And seeing the cars bouncing up and down. And
Was those same cars that used to be in those videos?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When I see there's a song with oh my gosh, I can't think of his name.
Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre,
Dre, all of them was
Ice
doing
Cube, everybody, NWA. So yeah, I was the guy behind those cars. I helped to build up that whole industry, and that industry helped to save us, stop gang violence and all this fighting amongst each other. So it was just an opportunity for us to start businesses, build cars, own patents, trademarks, copyrights, and businesses.
You just said those cars got you to, in terms of gang violence. Tell us, what does that mean? How is that?
Well, they when how gangs started is because of black Americans, black people were moving into white neighborhoods. So you got one or two guys, black guys walking home from school, and then white guys would jump on them and beat them up. So the black people we started coming together to protect ourselves from white people. So eventually white people moved out, they call it white flight. And then the next thing you know, they decided, let's weaponize this gang stuff because black people are organizing, working together. So they turned around and convinced black people that, hey, if I pay you, I need you to go over there and shoot up those people. I need you to go start stealing their cars because all of this keeps the property values down. So that was the goal. If we have problems with gangs in our neighborhoods, then, hey, I can't start a business in this area, that area, this area. It makes it very difficult. I can't go over there and shop and spend money. So they weaponized it and put that in our community and start spreading those beliefs.
So what age did you start realizing that there was gangs, or was that protecting you? Or
it was both.
Okay.
I started realizing there was gangs when I was in the junior high school. So whatever age, when you go to junior high, I was green at first. I was, la, la, la. And then all of a sudden I found out.
What does that mean, green?
Green means I didn't understand what was going on. I thought everybody loved each other. And I'm like, that's my brother. That's my brother. Okay. We all work together. We all family, one big happy family.
But that's how life was.
Yeah. And then I found out, you guys are over there from that neighborhood. They wear red and we wear blue and we don't like you. And then we're going to shoot at you guys. We're going to beat you up. And you stay out of our neighborhood and you can't open a business in our neighborhood. And, it was just like, who did this? Who planned? Who started this stuff?
So you guys started as brothers.
Yep.
Hanging out on the street. Yep. And then gang somebody. We don't know who.
We know who it was. Yeah, we know who it was. It was the government, They said, let's weaponize all this love and let's pay some people to go beat people up for no reason,
But it wasn't them that was beating us up, right? It was us beating each other.
They were bankrolling us.
But it's still us that did it. So whenever I hear these things, though, I always cannot blame the other side and saying that it's them. I always put some blame on us because somebody can pay you to go do something like that, then you didn't love me in the first place to allow somebody to have control of you that much.
It becomes survival. It's like they create these bad situations, foreclosures, not working. Now the people become desperate. And they got to do what they got to do. So you got people selling themselves, And you got people who robbing people. You got people who steal cars. You got people who sell drugs. It's always something. So whenever you have people in desperate times trying to figure out how they can make a living, now you got somebody manipulating, saying, hey, I'll pay you guys if you beat the people up, if you wear red and you guys wear blue, Democrats and Republicans.
Oh, that's what that meant?
Yes. Yes, that's where it came from.
If we use the terms, because I know red was what?
Bloods.
And then
blue
the blue was Crips.
Yes.
So if we use those terms, so it's the same gang, because Republican, Democrat are that same colors.
Yep.
So
How about that? Now you know it wasn't us
I
because the
know
Bloods and the
what,
Crips
the
don't.
Bloods
We
and the
didn't vote. Bloods and Crips can't vote. You know, gangbangers
cannot
can't vote.
vote.
So you know it wasn't us, right?
So was there a big drugs problem in this era?
The government dropped drugs in the middle of our communities. You know, they tricked some of these guys, and they later found out they were working for the CIA. You know, you'll see guys, Freeway Rick, Chico Brown, and they came back from prison. They found out that they were working for the CIA. They didn't know. They were the ones supplying it, flying it in over here, and they were specifically told only sell in the black communities.
No way.
That's exactly
all this
how it
information documented.
Absolutely.
Google what?
Google, like you can Google Freeway Rick. You can Google crack epidemic government backed, and it should pop up. Yep,
So
government
now-
conspiracy, and it'll all pop up.
So all these things that we are facing today, all that had roots to it. So me being in Haiti and I'm dealing with gang and I can't go to my country, those all can be in one pot, basically.
You got some people, because if they don't bother us, if no one bothers black people, Haitian people, African people, all of us, the people that look like us, if no one bothers us, then like looking at the Gilded Age, the 1800s, we were patenting things left and right. We invented the ironing board. We invented the train parts. We invented this. We invented the car.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's like in my book talks about how we invented the car and we patented. It was so many patents in the early 1800s. It's like, how they say we come from slavery and we can't read, but yet we're over here patenting things now. Like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? It's like, who said that? So it's a big missing piece of our history. But if no one was bothering us, if I wasn't trying to shoot at you because you got on the wrong color, what would we be doing? I'd be talking to you. You'd be like, I'm going to manufacture you a mount to hang your TV on the wall. I'm going to design a new light for you. I'm going to design a background for this thing where you can flip a switch and different things pop up and every show be different, you know.
So the distraction is a way to make us stop thinking.
Absolutely, because we're geniuses. We're rocket scientists. We're amazing people, you know, and they know it. They know it. That's why.
But see, again, here's where I have a problem, because we're gonna go back to your to your younger self, because we went, you know, because one-on-one can go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Again, where did we lose ourselves to know who we are? If we know how to do these things, if we're smart, why don't we allow ourselves to understand that it's within?
We lost ourselves during integration. When Martin Luther King, I always call him, he's a terrorist. I don't know. He comes in and say he has a dream that he don't want to support the black businesses. He don't want to go on this podcast. He want to go to the white people's podcast. You know, he want to go sit in the white restaurants. He want to fight. They fighting to go sit in the white restaurant when we got black restaurants and black hotels. Why? Someone paid him to do that. And that's why before he was murdered, he said he realized that he led his people into a burning bush. I've been sitting at Tuskegee University in the archives reading the history, and I see all this amazing history. Black people own this big giant hotel. Black woman owns that hotel. Black woman owns this industry. Black man started this. This guy invented that, and the white guy tried to steal it from him, and he lost in court after he got sued. And this is patent. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, why don't we hear about these people? All we know is Martin Luther King in school. What about Booker T. Washington? What about Lewis Adams? All these guys on my book. You know, C.R. Patterson, they got the first guy that ever made a car was a black man. Nobody's ever told us this. All we hear about is Henry Ford. We talk about George Washington Carver. They say, oh, he did the peanut. He made peanut butter. Like that man invented gasoline, $1 trillion industry. He invented plastic and rubber. Things this mic is being used. This stand has rubber. This has plastic on it. You know, he invented that. So how is it possible that I'm not inspired if I knew that we invented all these things and we patented all these things, I wouldn't want to shoot at you. I want to talk to you because together we probably can work together and come up with a patent.
Yes.
That's fine. One idea that we can patent and become billionaires. Just that simple.
So we so focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah, we focused on the wrong thing. And that's why they pay people to come in our community to distract us, to plant seeds in there for no reason. They know who we are. So they got to distract us.
Wow, I love this so much, but I have to stay focused on one-on-one because one-on-one has a way that we run it. So now you are a younger man growing up in Los Angeles? Compton. So how was life there? Growing up, how was it? Give us a little
because of the
day to day.
Because of the distractions, it was dangerous growing up. It was deadly. It was amazing and scary all at the same time. I saw amazing things happening of opportunities to create unity, of things happening, of people like when drugs came. It kind of made things worse, but it kind of put a little power back in the neighborhood. So now you got guys that are very wealthy and successful that can say, no, nothing stupid goes on my street. Leave these people alone. Now, young TJ is able to say, hey, I like cars. I want to work on the cars, and nobody's bothering me because they know I know this guy, So it was quite interesting. It was interesting, Growing up, I saw the manipulation. I remember one time the police brought my brother home, and he pulled out a blue rag, knowing my brother we live in the red neighborhood. And the police said, look what I found in his pocket.
Oh, my God. That was the reason to get shot.
That was the reason. Now they got his friends looking like,
He's a traitor.
Yeah, he's a traitor.
Yes.
But I was luckily there that day, and I said, man, get out of here with that lie. Don't come over here starting all that stuff. And he looked like,
we're going to get you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, why do I got to deal with this? Why? And the guy looked like us.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like.
And that's another thing, right? Because with you, we can't stay with you being a kid. It's always one of us hurting us the most.
People accepting the money to do these things,
So it's corruption.
Yes, it's corruption at the highest because they cannot afford for us to grow up and continue to patent things. All we need is one thing and become worth a $14 trillion a year business. Now we can hire every black person in America with no problem. You can be my vendor. You can sell me things. I can come to your podcast. And, there's so much of us. Just one idea can turn this whole thing around. That's why they don't want people thinking. The Rockefeller said for himself, he said, he don't want a nation of thinkers, he want a nation of employees. So when I go to Tuskegee University, I see the Rockefeller sign on the building. I say, wow, that's like, deep. Is that a nation? Is this a college of non-thinkers? Like,
wow.
Yeah, just everybody comes out as an employee. There's not like the original Booker T. It's not like the original Tuskegee. It used to be called the Normal School, because that's when all the patents was coming out of there. So they changed it to Tuskegee University. Now everybody gets a job. No more patents. No more ideas.
Oh, my God.
Just employees.
You are growing too fast. You are growing too fast. You are growing too fast.
We don't have that much time.
I want to say
but
people, I want to know. I know people want to know you. Okay. Because remember, this one-on-one is about you. What would you want people to know about you?
I want people to know I tell the truth.
You tell the truth.
I want people to know what's going on. We're not dumb idiots. We're not gangbangers. We're not drug dealers. We're people just like you. We see what's going on. We're aware of this stuff. We're conscious. We know what's right and what's wrong. So as a kid, remember, I was a little different. I pay attention. I read between the lines. I was taught how to.
So you were always smart.
Yes.
Reading them.
Yes, they knew I was different. Even when I was a kid and my mom put me in Sunday school, and I would ask the pastor, I would say, I'm thinking like, this is a room full of black people. Why is it a white guy talking to us? At 7 years old, like, wait a minute, everybody
only
in the
on
audience
one-on-one.
is
Those are the
black
stories we want to hear. Because
Whose
from
idea is
7
that?
years old, your mind is already advanced.
I ask questions
You
like
ask
that.
questions.
I'm looking
You are
at the
curious.
audience. Yeah, why is everybody in the audience black, but the only white guy in the whole room is talking to us? What's going on here? Something's not right. I don't believe what he just said just now. Like, why don't you believe it? I don't know. I just didn't like what he said.
What
It
he
didn't make
said,
sense.
it didn't make sense.
What proof do you have, TJ? I don't know. My mind just said that's not right. you
You had the ability to think. You could
Right.
sense the energy for you.
Right.
What, and then that's another thing we have. We have our common sense, and we can tell
Critical thinkers. Yeah.
and we don't. Sometimes we don't think that we should trust it. I think
Right.
that's our problem.
Most kids. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Most kids would get in trouble for stealing, for throwing rocks. I would get in trouble for asking too many questions. They would say, "Who put you up to ask that question? Who told you to say that?" I'd be like, "Now I'm getting in trouble," and they asked me who told me to say that. I said,
And you don't know
my
nobody.
mind told
Your
me.
mind.
It didn't make sense what you just said. Why not? What support do you have? I don't know. I just didn't like it. It didn't make sense to me. Well, this happened and that happened in life, and in the Bible this says that. I was like, it's not sitting well in my brain. What about this? What about that? Somebody told you to ask those questions. You're only 9 years old. You're too young to be thinking like that. Nope. This was all me.
That's crazy.
But they didn't believe it.
Yes.
They didn't believe it. But I'm very curious, But I grew up I notice everything. I pay attention, I don't watch sports. I don't care about that.
Did you ever get in trouble since you were around the
All the time.
gangs, the violence?
All the time.
So how did you protect yourself from that?
It was society was set up to make sure I was okay. So the guy I grew up with on my block, he grew up to be the leader of the gangsters.
Oh wow.
He was the number one fighter,
Wow.
So he knew I was green, so he would make sure I was there.
Protected.
He protected me. We walked to school in the morning. He made
so
sure.
they have a heart, even though they're killing people, they can take
It was
care
more
of other
self-defense than anything.
No, here's the thing. Like in my country, there's gangs, right?
Okay.
So people actually protect those leaders.
Yes.
Why would you protect somebody that's causing harm?
Remember, the gangs were about protecting each other. So we went from protecting each other, period, as black people, to now we're protecting our neighborhoods because we know across the street over there on the other side of that light, there's a Crips over there, and they're going to come shoot at us. So they would always guide me, TJ, don't go over there, stay from over there, be here, do all this stuff. So my buddy, knowing how to fight, he made sure everybody knew, look out for TJ. And I had his ear. I was his wise counsel. So they'd be like, we're going to go kick their butt. And I'd be like, no, y'all going to go to jail. Won't you try this? Let me go talk to him.
Wow.
Let me go talk to him. So it was so funny. The whole time I was there, they didn't fight in school. I was always the
and then
peace.
in high school, there
In
was
high
no
school,
fighting?
yeah. I was the peace treaty guy.
So
When I
if a
was around, they knew.
15-year-old is listening to this, and you're talking about crypt and blood and the violence, what would you tell them today?
What would I tell them? It's not worth it. Stick together. The power is in relationships. Because my powerfulest thing about me is not a weapon that I own. It's not guns and stuff that I got. My most powerful thing I got is relationships. I've stopped gang violence. I've stopped people from losing their lives just by making a phone call. They'd be like, oh, they stole his car, for example. I would always hear that. They stole his car over there in that neighborhood, and we're going to go shoot that neighborhood up tonight. I'd be like, what neighborhood? They'd be like, that neighborhood over there and I say, hold on, let me make a phone call.
Wow.
And I call over there, and I know the guy over there, the one they told me don't be his friend.
That's the
right? Because he's the enemy. Don't be listening to him. But I talked to him, and he liked me, and I like him.
Oh, wow.
He said, man, if you ever need anything, let me know. So I call him. I said, hey, man, somebody stole my buddy's car. Oh, you know that guy? I said, yeah.
Oh,
He said,
wow.
all right. I said, we need it back. He said, okay, I'll give it back. So I called the guy. You don't have to go shoot tonight. I got your car back. They be like, what? I said, and he apologized.
Wow.
He didn't know we knew each other. They're like,
So
oh, okay. So now,
therefore, if you know somebody in that group and you're cool,
yeah.
so nothing will, like, there's a peace keeping
Yeah,
relationship.
we have
that goes
relationships
on.
now.
Okay.
Like right now to this day, we have
Negotiation type.
right now we have phone calls regularly. We have it'd be like 10 guys on the phone from red and blue and everything, and we all talking. Okay, well this was in the news. Who did that? Was that y'all?
Oh my God!
It wasn't us. Nope. It was okay. Yeah, we know who did it. We're gonna bring him, and he gonna find himself at the police station, turning himself in. You know, we communicating. You know.
Did you ever think Crip and Blood would be something globally? Because now everybody's talking about this gang.
You know,
are those the same gang that goes over the world?
Yes, and I hated that. I watched it. I watched it happen when drugs came in. You know, somehow, some way, it started off in Compton. The crack stuff started in Compton, and it was the crack. And the guy saying, well, I'm going to go to Texas and sell it. I'm going to go to Mississippi. I'm going to go to Tennessee. I'm going to go to Oregon. I watched people get on the plane. I watched people drive out of town.
How old were you at that time?
Crack came in junior high school.
Oh, my God.
So I was probably 14 years old. But I knew guys that were 13-year-old millionaires, you know. And it was just amazing, the stuff I saw. But I saw these guys going out of town. So, of course, they would bring the guys like my buddy who could fight. And they go out there. And next thing you know, they're like, oh, you're from this blood gang from Compton. Now it's extended to Minnesota now. Oh. Now it's in Oregon. Now it's in Texas, because these are places they're selling drugs. And the guys in those states want to be like us because they come in, we got all the money, and all the women want us. So I want to be down. Can I work roll with you guys? Wow. Well, you got to be from my neighborhood. And then I'll let you sell the drugs, and I'll let you guys become rich. And the next thing you know, all these guys are doing all this stupid stuff.
Wow.
And I'm watching this, and I'm like, this is wrong. This is bad. Like, I went out of town one time. The guys had penny loafers on and dress socks and Dockers, you know what I'm saying? And then I come back, they got Chuck Taylor's, Dickies, and white T-shirts.
Yes.
And they look badder than us now. Like, oh, wait a minute, y'all look like y'all from Compton with your red khakis and the white T-shirt and the big gun in your pocket. And you know, now we got rap coming out. They talking about NWA, and they talking about the King.
When did rap started becoming that? Do you remember? Rap, all that comes within that same era, right?
The original rap came out in the early 80s that I remember when it got to us.
When you got to you.
When it got to us, because, you know, it started in New York, and I remember listening to Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, and it was story time, and it was I'm laughing, and I'm like, oh, man, that was funny. Girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble, and all this, and Dougie Fresh, and like all this, I'm just laughing, and then all of a sudden, Compton comes into play, and they talking about the Batarang because they're raiding houses with a tank. The military gave the chief of police a tank to raid people's houses. So one of my friends named Toddy T, he wrote a song called The Batarang. And then the next thing you know, he's on tour around the world doing a tour, and now people are getting mad, like, oh wow, he's talking about the chief of police, and all these guys got arrested about that song.
Oh.
They got arrested because he wrote that song, and I'm like, ooh.
He wasn't supposed to talk.
He wasn't supposed to say that. They said he's threatening the police. I was like, well, the police are riding around in a tank, running into people's houses. They killed a little girl. Y'all didn't talk about that, you know.
Wow.
You can't just come flying down the street with a tank and run into somebody's house. People live there. These are family houses. So they start talking about that stuff. One of my friends' name is Mixmaster Ken. He actually was the first one that started rapping in Compton. And matter of fact, me and him both got an award together during.
Is he still alive?
Oh yeah.
Tell him something. Look at the camera.
Mixmaster Ken, what's up, good brother? Shout out to you. I appreciate you for telling your story now. You know, so he just did an interview, and you know, because they try to put gangster rap on him, but he called it reality rap. He was talking about what he saw. You know, so the other day, what was it, a couple years ago, we were in Adelanto, California. So during hip hop 50th anniversary, me and Mixmaster Ken, we both sitting side by side, got awards. I'm the first guy, first car builder in hip hop to ever get an award. So I was the first car builder to ever get an award by hip hop. From hip hop, you know, and I was sitting there with all rappers sitting there, and they gave me an award, and I'm sitting next to my buddy. Thank you.
Congrats.
It was an amazing being recognized, you know. So now it opened the door, because like right now they've been trying to wash me out of history. So now my fight went from gang banging to now I'm fighting to protect the fact that I did this. That my accomplishments, my goals, my ideas, my innovations.
So you went to school, so you got degrees, so you became an employee or no?
I didn't go.
So you didn't become an employee?
No.
So,
I've been a business owner since
what?
That was
so
my
when
first.
Did you? What was your first job?
I had a couple jobs. My first job was well, my first job was I was hired by a kingpin. He say, "Hey, I'll pay you money if you tell me if you see white people, anything that don't fit. If you see white guys sitting on the block, you let me know. If you see anybody strange that don't." So he teach me how to be alert and aware because he knew, this guy be paying attention, right? He's alert.
Okay.
So now anybody who comes on the block that parks there, like memorize every car that lives here. Oh, that's Miss Jones. That's Mr. Jackson's car. Oh, that's the cousin of the Jacksons. They come every Friday, every Saturday because they babysit. So I know these cars, right?
Nice.
Now all of a sudden you got cars I've never seen before parking on the corner of the block. So I would go, hey, that's a great
Who's
Toyota down there.
Yes.
And the guy's tinted windows, dark tinted windows. He said, okay, thank you. And I get paid. That was my first job.
Wow.
But other than that, McDonald's for 5 seconds. I felt like
there was McDonald's and people did not get robbed, didn't get killed. As a kid, you worked in McDonald's.
Got robbed. And what was funny? The manager of McDonald's said, I know you had something to do with it. Mr. 14-year-old. I said, what are you talking about? He said, the first day off, we get robbed. Your first day that you didn't have to come to work, we got robbed.
And how did that happen?
So it's like, but yeah, I guess they did. They must have knew me. It's like, oh, that's TJ. We can't rob it on that day.
So they watch and make sure when you're not there.
Yeah,
go
because I knew a lot of people. So as a young kid, so I remember him accusing me of that. I was like, I didn't get none of that money. How much they get? Because I'm going to have to tell them I need my cut,
Wow.
I'm getting accused.
And what about your mom? What was the fears like for her?
Single
living
mother.
in an environment like this?
Single mother,
Yes.
Doing what she got to do to survive. My mom didn't drive, so she would get up in the morning. When I would wake up and I would go wiping my eyes, I'd go to the front door and I look out the door. I see my mom across the light standing on the bus stop. Standing on the bus stop, sun barely just coming up, and she's on the bus stop. And then all of a sudden, when the sun getting ready to come down, she's getting off the bus, So it was hard for her. That's why I said I was a latchkey kid, and, it was hard for her. And I commend my mom for what she did raising us, because I wasn't the greatest son. I was, I grew up with the...
Dead or alive, what do you want her to know about you? Is mommy still with us?
Yeah, she's still here.
Okay, so what do you want her?
My apologies for all that bad stuff I did when I was a kid. It's hard when you got friends that are growing up, and this guy, TJ, come help me count this $1 million. Stuff like that every day. Come help me count this $1 million. Okay, how much is that? That's $5 million. That's $20 million. Okay, and help me count that. And it's hard to not want to be a part of that. It wasn't like they was making $50. It wasn't $20.
It was real money.
$8 an hour. Like when I was at McDonald's, they paid $3.65 an hour.
Wow.
That's what my mom wanted me to do. I'm like, but my buddy count $400,000 every day.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So that was more appealing to you.
Yeah, it was way more appealing. This guy got a Rolls Royce. I'm
Look, you
literally
walk
14
into the
years
bus,
old.
Mom. Look at you.
Yeah, I'm 14 years old, and my buddy drives a Corniche Rolls Royce convertible.
Wow.
It was like back then, these guys had, everybody on the average that was selling something illegal had $800,000. That was like the normal, but then you had guys that were billionaires.
Money. Do you know this money, if it was reinvested in us,
Yes.
where would we be today?
Yes. Oh, I mean, I've seen it, and that's where we are, why we are where we are today. Like my guys who I grew up with, and they saw the gang problem. The gang thing was a problem. People's parents would say, go across the street in that Crip neighborhood over there where they wear blue and don't like you with red. I don't care about that. You go get me some milk. Wow. Like, what? I got to risk my life to get milk.
To get milk? Wow.
So we go over there, and the guy would get killed.
Oh my God!
So now
it was really that.
Yeah.
So if you go
It wasn't-
purchase milk,
Yes, go over there to get some milk and swabs and get murdered because his mom needed it, you know. So now you got the
wait, I can't baffle this. So you couldn't cross the street on the other side,
Right.
where if it
Right.
was blue.
right. You got guys.
But
of
what
course,
if you're not part of blue? What if I'm living
It
my
didn't
life?
even matter. It was by default. I saw you come from over there. You're from over there. You live in that corner house on the corner. I saw you come from over there. Now all of a sudden you got to fight.
So big.
All of a sudden they shooting.
It's just like real estate,
I don't
right?
have on
red
red, I got
line. You
gray
got that
on.
line
Yeah,
that you
it was
can
a-
cross.
it
It
was
was
the
an
red line.
invisible line.
It was an invisible line. This is our neighborhood, and
So
that's
now
your- you
any
stay over
babies
there.
that was born
Yep, by default.
by default,
You can be a nerd with glasses this thick and look like weigh 15 pounds, 28 pounds, and oh, you from over there, we're gonna beat you up. Like
oh
what?
my God.
Yeah, and
That
you
had
know,
to be difficult.
so you
TJ.
gotta. It really was.
How
but
did you
so you
toughen
gotta,
yourself? How did you become this
I-
man that you are? Because, I mean,
I learned to don't dress like them. Don't
Okay.
wear khakis. Don't wear t-shirts. I tell my mom, I don't want any t-shirts. I don't want Chuck Taylors. I want, give me a little Tiger. Give me with the
so
little
you didn't
tiger.
want what they had.
I did not want
So
what they
now
had.
again, I'm going back to the kids. Kids today that's still doing this.
Mm-hmm.
How do we protect them?
We got to educate them. Stop. Don't wear certain things. Don't mess with the reds and the blues. You don't have to be a rapper. Learn how to weld. Put value on yourself. So I had a lot of value because I learned how to work on cars at a young age. So people would come to me. The car guys are protected. When you do something that everybody
That he
needs,
wants, yeah.
you can be blood or crip and be welcome in their neighborhood
Yes.
because they know,
They
we
they
need him.
you.
He
Yes.
knows how to do this and he knows how to do
wow.
that. So I started working on cars. I remember this gangster dude came to me and he saw my car and he knew I got a good deal fixing up my car. And he came to me and he asked me, he said, can you connect me with the guy that did your car? Because I can't go. I can't go over there.
Oh, wow.
Or they charge me too much. And I'm like, really?
There's another business.
Yeah, I charge. There is a business. There is
There's
a
a
business.
business.
Yeah. So you telling me I just paid $500 to paint my car, but they told you $8?
Oof, I can make some money.
I'm gonna make $300. And you wait, and you want me to take it over there for you and pick it up?
That's an
Okay,
extra
well, that's
money.
gonna be $1,000. I'm gonna make $500 off of this deal.
Yes.
So now I started my business, and I was the first neutral hydraulic shop. This wasn't the neighborhood hydraulic shop.
This
This
is
was
TJ.
TJ's hydraulic shop, the neutral guy. There's no gang violence over here. There's no trouble. I'm not gonna. If you mess with anybody over here, I'm gonna get mad. So don't come over here with that nonsense. He's with me. Anybody coming up here buying something from me, do not bother them. So now you got the guys want to come up there and hang out. Oh, I'm gonna go up there and hang out. That's my boy. No, you're not. Don't let people come hang out at your business.
Wow.
Don't do that. You made your purchase. You dropped off
Just
your part
go.
and made a deposit. Now go.
Because we don't know
We
you.
don't do hanging
We
out.
don't do
no.
hang out.
Don't let your friends hang out. So
Is that why whenever they see 3, 4 of black people together, we look suspect?
No, they
What-
see
what
3, 4
happened?
black people together. They scared that they're gonna put their brains together. They're gonna come up with some
You see,
brilliant
you
ideas.
see, you see what you just did there?
What's that?
Because that's exactly what I grew up with. Worried if my kid is with 2 or 3, the system is gonna think that they're getting ready to robbed. They're getting, especially in this day and age,
Okay,
right? So now look what you just said.
Right.
It was the total opposite. When all of us are
Right.
together,
Right.
we're actually creating.
Right,
We're
exactly.
actually building.
When we had the trades in the school, I remember my friend telling me, rest in peace, but Ted Wells, he told me, he said, when we had the trades in the school, we all had auto painting, auto body. He said, every day it'd be 13 guys at my house, and we'd be sitting over there taking off fenders and knocking dents out and painting cars in my mom's garage. And the police would pull up, it'd be 20 of us back there, and all of us be dirty, got paint on us. And they just go. They already know. Oh, you over there, y'all over there painting cars. Y'all always dirty. You always got junk parts. You always going to the junkyard. So they don't even bother them because they already know what they're doing. Now, they see, again, you come to my house, you see me in the backyard. I got a lowrider. I got the trunk pop, and all these guys is over there. We got handing each other battery. Everybody's dirty. But then they say, let's take all that stuff out to schools. Get rid of that. Now, when you see us standing on the corner, everybody got drugs in their pocket.
Oh, wow.
Because there's no other outlet, no way to make any money.
To make
so we got to make money. So the government was so kind and nice enough to give us an entrepreneurship opportunity. called drugs. You know, we didn't make the drugs. We didn't bring
don't
it
even
over.
know where it come from.
We didn't bring it over. We know where it came from, and we didn't bring it from there. We never been to Colombia. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ain't never seen the guy get arrested coming from Colombia. You know what I'm saying? The government was kind enough to bring it for us. You know what I'm saying? They say, here you guys go. Hey, we got a train over there. It's an empty train full of guns too. We got you guys back. You know, you good.
Wow.
So yeah, that wasn't us. That was them. And of course, somebody's gonna be stupid. You know.
Do you have any regrets from that era?
Yeah, I have lots of regrets. That's why I do what I do. I go back and try to undo some of the things that I've done, some of the things that other people have done.
We're going to take a break on that because we're getting ready to go and talk about the other things that you have going on.
Okay.
So we'll be
Excellent.
right back, guys.
You're tuned in to the One-on-One Show with Dr. Lucita.
Welcome to the One-on-One Show.
In trucking, time is money, and the last thing you need is insurance that slows you down. At AmeriTrust Insurance Group, we move fast, no loss runs needed, same-day quotes and binding, and rates that keep your wheels turning. From auto liability to cargo, bobtail, physical damage, and workers' comp, we're your one-stop shop for commercial trucking insurance. Licensed in multiple states, powered by real agents who answer the phone. No bots, no hold music. We know the road can be tough, but your insurance shouldn't be. You're not just hauling freight. You're building a business. Let's protect it.
Pose, pas fait tête chaud. Ou t'as cherché un compagnie sérieux pour faire le taxe pour là, dans des postes touillés, et bien choix par l'autre côté. Lucita Accounting Firm. Nous avons plus que 22 ans d'expérience dans seule location. Porte nous l'ouvrir depuis le fait 9h pour arriver 7h. Consultation nous gratis. Nous avons pilote service nous bas encore. Nous faisons taxe individuelle. Taxe pour moun qui gen business. Nous faisons audit pour assurance taxe. Taxe consultation. Nos affaires taxe, docteur Lucita se mettre causé. Relais pour service taxe pour la Kounia et pour nous éduquer dans le taxe. Pour joindre tout corps ou dans mes ARS sans manquer yon yota. Téléphone non c'est 770 319 91 81. Adresse nous c'est Atlanta, Georgia.
Welcome to iSpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality every time. Bring your vision to life in our photo shoot studio with natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear. Stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
You're tuned in to the One-on-One Show with Dr. Lucita.
Welcome back, everyone, to One-on-One with Dr. Lucita. We just had a great 30 minutes with TJ Loftin. He talked about his younger years, what he went through, the experience that he had, and so many stuff. But now we are in the second part of the show where we're getting ready to talk to the older version of TJ. So there's so many things that he have done in his life, and you guys gonna be impressed with this incredible man, the person that he is, who, even after all the, tribulation and humble lives that he went through. Now you're gonna see what he was able to do to become the man that he is today. Now, welcome back to our second part, Mr. TJ Loftin.
Thank you.
Yes, so now keep telling us. So now you went through lives, you did high school, you were working in McDonald's, you was making $1 million at a younger age. Now tell me, when do you realize that that's not what you want to do? You want to change the narrative. You want to do something else.
Like we were saying, I saw all these guys that took drugs out of state and took gang violence out of state and that whole idea of gangs. And I said, now that I've become an established celebrity car builder, I made a little money, I got a lot of guys behind me with money, and they always asking me, what can they do? I said, we're going to go back and help to rebuild Compton, So I want to figure out how can we go back and help Compton. So that was my goal. So right now I've joined the organization. A friend of mine named Dr. Jackie Sanderlin, she came and found us. And actually, my buddy told me to come run his nonprofit. So I was in Compton at Tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum running a nonprofit, teaching kids how to fly. So I would sponsor that and help that out. So now, for the first time, I get to sit there and bring all these young gangsters or kids that became gangbangers and bring some gangbangers in, bring in some regular kids, and I have them all there. And I'm sitting there, I'm the overseer, and I was like, you don't do this, you don't talk like that. That's your brother. Y'all work together, and and they so honored that I'm sitting there because they know I'm the lowrider guy. And all the guys they respect come to check on me, and I'm like, that's little Johnny, and that's Ricky, and that's Bobby, that's Mike.
And it didn't matter the colors at that time.
No,
so you were just
this
everybody.
was the neutral safety zone.
Wow.
So I would.
And how were you able to manage the safety zone if they were hating each other, killing each other? There was so many different anger and frustration. How were you able to bring that?
They respect the OGs.
Okay.
And they saw, I remember I'd be like, who's your OG in your neighborhood? And they'd be like, OG such and such. And I'd be like, hold on. And I would call them like, hey, I need you to come up here, man. And they come up there like, you know him? Like, oh my God, And then they'd be like, oh, he ain't gonna give you no problems. He cool. And they'd be like, okay. So they know I had that power, that I had the power of relationships, that I can call the guy that they feared or the guy that they really believed in, and he would come up there and sit there and tell us why he regret the decisions he made as a young age. So they're like, oh wow, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Going to jail doesn't make me a hero, So it was things like that. So I left. Dr. Jackie came in. Dr. Jackie Sanderlin came in. She says, I'm looking for some of you wealthy, successful Compton people to come and help give back to Compton because the school district is cutting us off.
Oh, wow.
We got school teachers paying money out of their own pockets, which they don't make enough, but they love the kids. So they're buying supplies. They're buying backpacks. They're buying all this stuff that made no sense. So I'm like, okay, we can help with that. Nice. So now I made all my lowrider guys. We have backpack giveaways, We do all types of stuff, We started off, I remember when Dr. Dre became a board member at Apple. I whispered in my buddy's ear, I'm like, hey, man, we need some of them new iPad things.
Nice.
Compton needs some iPads. Next thing you know, Dr. Jackie hooked it up and made the connection and talked to the Apple board with Dr. Dre's relationships. And the next thing you know, she's calling me, I need you up here and bring a suit. I'm like, for what? She said, they're going to give us 3,200 iPads.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, Okay, but I'm not wearing a suit. She's like, yes, you are. So I go up there. So now if you look on YouTube, TJ Loftin, Thomas TJ Loftin on YouTube, you'll see me standing there with this big old suit jacket.
I'm definitely going to check it out and put it under the live.
Got the Apple staff next to me, the white people in the class in Compton, and I'm sitting there, patents, trademarks, and copyrights, and come back and buy a school for the kids. So I'm planting the seed. You want to be able to come back and build a brand new school, right?
Yes.
I'm planting that seed. And people, you look at that video, and guess what happened years later? We went back and tore down the school in Compton High School, tore it down to the ground.
How many years later?
It had to be 8 years later.
So, because we're going too fast, you say you were teaching those kids how to fly.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So how was that?
That was
did we get a
amazing.
lot of kids?
Yeah,
Because we're going to go back with the Kempton School and all that stuff.
The kids became famous because we got them in the Guinness Book of World Records. So like Kenny Roy, 14 years old, pilot from Compton, that dude was bad. He was bad. I mean,
Wow.
He went from that. So he's like, when you turn 16, you're going to be the first African American to get a pilot license in California. And he's like, whatever.
Really?
So then all of a sudden he tells us one day, well, in Canada, it says Canada, you can be 14 to get a pilot license. What? Really?
Wow.
Next thing, put him on a plane to Canada. He going to Canada, so he got his pilot license in Canada.
So you have your pilot license?
No, not yet. You know what's funny? When you got easy access to things, you don't tend to want it. You don't need it. I mean, why am I going to buy it if she got it? Why am I going to get this if she got one?
You had so many people.
So Kenny Roy became the first African American in Canada to get a pilot license at 14.
Yes.
Came back to America at 16 and got a pilot license.
Nice.
So he called himself Kenny Canada Roy. Shout out to Kenny. Look him up.
Okay.
Isaiah Cooper, first 16-year-old from Compton, from the world in America, to fly around the country by himself. Guinness Book of World Records. Isaiah got so big, he became Essence magazine. I think he was one of the most 100 influential black men in America.
Nice.
And President Obama was there. So they was at this big party, So these are Compton kids. So these are the things I was investing in and spending my time. So this is when I say people, I ask people, where's your receipts at? You this big guy made all these millions and you talking about you did this for the community. I'm like, where's your receipts? Google Isaiah, Google Kenny Roy. These are some of my receipts,
Have you ever get in trouble at all?
All the time. So not all the time, but yes, I've got in trouble. When I was doing illegal things, bad things, I knew I was going to get in trouble one day, and sure enough, I got in trouble. But then when I stopped doing illegal things and started helping black people, they'd rather I sold drugs. So now I'm getting in more trouble because of helping people. I'm like, wow, I stopped gang violence. I'm working to do this, and now they messing with me, bothering me, raiding my shop, all types of stuff.
Wow.
Because it's too much. They know who I am. I got relationships. The police, the people are always doing stuff to kind of make us fight each other, to get into it with each other. But they know, if it gets to TJ, he's just going to make a phone call and say, did you guys do that? They're going to say, that wasn't us. So they don't like stuff like that, They like when we don't communicate. The solution to everything is I'm going to shoot. I'm like, no. Let me call. Okay. Let me make a couple calls before you go over there shooting. Let me make a couple calls before you do something. And the next thing you know, we fix the problems from communication. I helped to run this organization, National Lowrider Association. They wanted me to be the president, but I didn't like it because that's like saying, I'm the leader of the Bloods and the Crips.
Oh.
So I was like, no, I'll just be an advisor.
With me, you got to tell me a little story. Why would you say that? It's the same as the Crip and the Blood. There's got to be a little something there.
It's just I'm aware of how things work because when we stopped the gang violence back in the days, people have a tendency that when somebody does something, they jump and take credit for it. Just like when we helped Compton School District and we did all this great work and we tore down Compton High School. We did all that work to do all this stuff that happened. By the time the school was ready, they pushed us out the way, fired Dr. Jackie, and got rid of TJ and everybody. So now it's time for the ribbon cutting. They're like, no TJ. It's like, wait a minute, why is TJ not around? Didn't he do this? And I saw it on his social media. But he's not here at the ribbon cutting. But guess who was there? Kamala Harris was there.
Yeah, the other people.
The
people that get
they taking credit for it, yeah.
But how do you work around that? What are you doing to make sure your work doesn't go in vain?
I have to I learned about, I'm learning about Wikipedia. I'm learning about investing. Like I paid a lot of money for a number of years to put my name in Lowrider magazine because it was all Hispanics in there. And I knew that, they need to know black people had businesses. It needs to be known. So every month that I was in that magazine, something went wrong. My number was changed. My address was changed. It's like if I gave you the article, the ad, I give you this book cover.
Yes.
Why is it not TJ's Toolbox anymore? Who changed it to Toolbox TJ? It's
there's always something.
Yeah, somebody's doing something. But here I go, 35 years later. Now I'm a legend in lowriding, and they're trying to hide me. But if it wasn't for that lowrider book,
no one would know.
They would not believe me. Because the Hispanics it's a Hispanic culture. The Hispanics invented it,
Wow.
But then they said, well, what about Lowrider magazine? Yeah, we forgot about that. It's like,
wow.
Really?
Wow.
So they're going out of their way to hide it. So now we have to go back. We have to come out of the shadows and do interviews, do podcasts.
Because for years now, you didn't have social medias, right?
No, I didn't take pictures until 2012. You put a camera up, I'd be like,
Wow.
don't take no picture of me. Don't put me on no video. I don't want that.
Do you regret not doing that? Because that would have, validated a lot of things you've done.
It's funny. You're right. It validates you because I remember this guy named Orly. This is like a legend in lowriding. And they're like, the people who have been in lowriding the most knows Orly, right? They know these guys. It's like the Michael Jacksons, James Browns of lowriding, right? And now I took pictures. My brothers came and they took pictures of Orly. I said, give me the camera, I'll take the picture. You gonna get in the picture? No.
Oh.
But when I pull that picture out, they go, oh wow. And then they say, why you ain't in? I took the picture. So they be like, yeah, right. They be like, you're right. You didn't know Orly.
Wow.
You didn't know that guy. It's like I tell her, I say, yeah, I know all those gangsters. And she looking at me like, yeah, okay. But then I say, okay, we got a meeting with them. Next thing you know, she drops me off on Crenshaw. There's like a million gangsters sitting there. And they like looking like, you going over there? Like, oh, that's my people. And then I'm looking, they got me on the back of an electric golf cart riding around like the president. And we like talking to police and, oh, we're going to do this and put the guardrail up, and we're working together to make sure things stay together, And it's all communication.
You're building what you guys had in mind from the beginning.
Yeah,
the brotherhood.
Yeah, that's what we always wanted. We fought to make that happen, and we're fighting to keep it going. But at the same time, now it's like, okay, look, the cars used to be $30,000. We would build a lowrider back in the days. We would spend $30,000 to fix it, and we drive it for 6 months, and then we sell it for $30,000, right? And that was the game. Or we would fix it up at $30,000 and think $1,500, $500, $1,000, and then 6 months later we got it finished, and boom, now we could sell it for $30,000. Say, look, I got $30,000 at one time. Now it's like we're selling cars for $300,000 and $400,000.
Nice.
And the guys who doing the labor, like I know how to weld. I build cars from scratch.
Okay.
And we got painters making.
Now, how did you learn that trade?
Growing up in Compton, trial and error, being taught by elders.
So you didn't go to school. It's not like there was a class.
I had a class of Gary May, sitting in the garage, in the alley, and the car thief stripping cars at 2 a.m. Okay, we can take the front end off of this 1990, and we're gonna put it on the front of that 1978. That fella, how you know if it?
So you're the person we can leave our car outside.
Yeah. But it was. I didn't realize these guys had. They were ingenuity, the knowledge. We're going to take the 4-light front end off of a 1990, and we're going to put it on a single light front end of a 76.
How did that work?
It's like, it don't matter. We're going to make it fit. My buddy said, we're going to make it fit. I'm like,
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm looking at all the technology, the ideas. We're standing there. You got all these car thieves sitting there, and we're staring at it. And it's like, okay, I know what to do. Like, what are we going to do?
Wow.
Like, cut this 2 inches, and then it'll fit.
It would fit.
And then the next thing you know, I grew up. I said, that's a good business. Just knowing the interchange and how to do stuff. So I said, I'm going to make it my goal, and we're going to get all these guys into legal businesses, So that was always my thing of how to save Compton, how to work with people, how to keep us out of the streets, how to keep us in legal things. So I'm always saying, it's money doing this, it's money doing that. So like right now, people say, what's going on with all those podcasts and this public speaking stuff you're doing? And, you traveling all around the world and you sitting there bragging about stuff you did 10 years ago, 15, 30 years ago. Why are they paying you to talk about stuff you did 30 years ago? I said, because they don't do it today.
Yes.
They don't know how to do it. They didn't think about it. So they said, yeah, TJ making a lot of money because he gave up low riding. He closed his shop. He sold his shop. Now he's full time with this stuff. He making a lot of money because he was making $2-3 million a year building those cars.
Wow.
So they say he must be really making money.
So you did close the shop?
No, I sold it.
You sold the shop.
So I was like,
how did you? So you were famous for low riding cars. Are you still in that game? Are you still doing it?
I'm an advisor now.
You're an advisor.
I do a lot of advising. So people, I go to events and get on the stage and pitch to people, talk about the wealth in classic car restorations, the wealth in low riding, the wealth in welding. All the welders quit working at the shipyard and they started coming over here to low riding. And now watch the welders, the welding companies are going to start paying 6 figures for welders now. Watch. And then 3 years later, it happens. They're like, how did you know? How did you know? Because I know what we were doing.
Yes.
I know all these guys that paint for the dealerships, they're quitting their jobs working at the dealerships painting. Now they're coming over here to the lowrider community because we're paying them $100,000. Because if the dealer pays them $100,000, we're going to pay them $150,000.
Yes.
Because we build cars more expensive than theirs.
Yes.
So we have the budget. But that's why I made it my personal business to be the first person that came out of lowriding to go and deliver the message globally and say we don't have to go to college. We don't have to get in debt because we're doing very well. We built up Compton. We decided we're going to build. We need to fix the damage that we've done. So we're going to go back to Compton and fix this thing up. So like I said, they're tearing down high schools, rebuilding it. My buddy built a $36 million trade school for Councilwoman Maxine Waters,
Nice.
And it really bothered me because when I go up there, like, oh, TJ's going to come out and speak to the class. And I come in there, it's like 98% Hispanics in there. I'm like,
ooh,
where's the black kids at,
Yes.
But then I started realizing, I said, we have talked down on the trades,
and
something that helped us become so powerful and wealthy that now nobody in our community wants us to take it because we want a degree.
Yes.
That's where all the power comes from, having your degree. Yeah, we got to be educated if you want to live
to college.
And I'm like, you want to wear a suit and tie, you want to drive fast, and I'm like, we don't dress like that. We don't wear Rolexes and suits and ties. We're mechanics. We're low key, undercover. So now,
tell us about how did you become an investor in real estate? Because from cars,
classic car building is the same as real estate.
Okay.
You can't have a real brick and mortar and not own a building. Because, like, for example, Tesla moves into Hawthorne, California, which is like 10 minutes away from where I was in Gardena. And immediately they start buying up the real estate and say, get rid of all these guys. Get rid of these paint shops, these transmission mufflers, et cetera, shops. So I okay, look, we got to start buying the real estate to make sure we don't get pushed out.
Okay.
So now we secured a lot of the real estate. And in fact, we went in and started buying the vacant buildings and fixing things up because I didn't like the whole idea, this lady was raped in that vacant building. This guy got shot and they dumped the body in that vacant building. So it was like, let's buy these buildings and let's fix them up and let's create businesses in those buildings, So that's what we started doing. Now they come in, other people come in and start buying the buildings against us. So here comes the Koreans, here comes the Hispanics. Now it's like, buildings were $50,000, $80,000. Now they $380,000.
Wow.
Now Compton is the most expensive real estate in the nation.
Oh wow! Because
of the industry that's there. Because we'll buy it if they don't, and they know it. So now here comes Mr. $1 trillion company Tesla. Social. Anyway, all these businesses by Elon Musk.
Knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently?
I would have bought everything. I would have bought earlier. I would have bought all the vacant buildings first. So. Because I had 35 years of real estate and helping my friends get buildings, protecting them from being kicked out or booted out, protecting them from the politicians and learning how to language. So I decided to write a book.
Okay.
Because a friend of mine, rest in peace, named Dr. Sabi, told me, he said, what 99% of the world don't know. So I should write it down. So I wrote a book about my travels and he told me I need to travel and see. I thought everybody was okay around the country, but I found out black communities all over America look like garbage. You know, I go to Atlanta, like, why y'all got these boarded up houses across the street from Morehouse?
Yes.
I go to Tuskegee. Why is 89% of the businesses in Tuskegee vacant?
And then another thing I always notice, the MLK streets always
absolutely.
the worst.
Always the worst.
Why is that? Can
Always
somebody
the worst.
explain that to me?
Yeah. So, but you go to Compton and say, so you don't have that problem in Compton. When I speak on, like, I see the people come from Tuskegee, no disrespect, they feel good. They say, I graduated from Tuskegee. And I look, Tuskegee's a dump. You bragging about that? No disrespect. When I say I graduated from Compton, I looked out for Compton, I said, we're building a new school. We built a grocery store. Go look. We fixed up all the houses. We got planters up the middle of the street with red bricks, and we got the certain kind, I don't even know the name of the trees. They look, wow.
You went back and
we went back and we never really
into,
left.
Okay.
We never left. Because think about it, black people, black businesses work good in black neighborhoods. I know white folks are not going to buy from me. I'm not going to move my lowrider shop in the middle of a white neighborhood when my customers come from here. You know, I'm not going to open up a barber shop in the middle of a white neighborhood. We put our money back in Compton.
Into your neighborhood.
So now I can go anywhere. But I wanted people to know what I know, 35 years of battleground real estate. Not just, give me a contract, sign your name, we're going to sell your house or sell you a house. But they're trying to take your house from you. They're trying to take your business. Don't let the real estate lie to you and tell you this. So I wrote a book about it because I wanted people not to be bamboozled, not to lose money. Because every time someone comes with a problem, this happened, that happened, and they took, and I said, why didn't you do this? I didn't know I could do that. Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you fill out a 102 form? I never heard of that before. Your real estate agent didn't tell you that? No. Who you had, a white agent? Yeah. They participating with gentrification.
Yes.
So I want people to know that when big corporations come into town, they turn around and pay off the real estate agents. They pay off the politicians. They pay off the pastors. They do all of these things. So I talked about that in the book. So it's not just a real estate book. It's a strategy book, you know. That's why now I'm able to advise politicians. I'm able to tell them how this stuff works, you know, because most of our people, we want to be mayors when I feel like we should be city managers.
So give me an example in TJ's life right now, like a day-to-day of your life. If somebody would see you now, the way you've changed, you're counseling, you're doing all this stuff, tell us, how is your life right now, a day-to-day on TJ's life?
My life is very interesting. I could be in the middle of a field pulling an old classic car out the swamp that was behind somebody's house, or I could be sitting in the 30th floor of the courthouse debating with some politicians about a policy. You know, or I could be sitting on the brick wall in the alley talking about, don't go shoot these guys up, let me talk to them, or let me go talk to the police and we're going to create a policy that they don't do these things. Or the next day I'll be sitting in the elementary talking about patents and trademarks with some 7-year-olds, you know, or teaching classes at my favorite restaurant on the patio and, you know, talking about business with kids or something, you know.
Do you feel proud of yourself looking back at you?
I mean, I feel like there's much more work to be done. You know, I feel like I know I'm not responsible for the world, but it's just much more it's like I'm put in this position to be a fighter. And the fight is still here. So why do I feel proud? You know, I go to this whole conference over the weekend and I feel like, what are y'all talking about? You know, we out here fighting gentrification and y'all in here talking about like the world is a wonderful place.
Yes.
You know, they take the corporations is coming. So I felt like, how can I be proud? Knowing all of this is happening and these people are talking about the wrong stuff. So until I can get everybody on the right path, I still got work to do, you know? So that's what we're working on, you know?
That's cool. So what is the definition of success to you?
Success to me, I told somebody one time, I said, success to me is being able to take a nap in the middle of the day. You know, like that's real wealth. You know what I'm saying? I could lay down and say, I'm going to take a nap. I'll call you back. You know, call me after 5. I'll be back up again. You know, that's success. But honestly, I love when little kids come running up to me and like I do a homeschool classes. I'm a homeschool teacher.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
So I'll be doing Zoom classes because the teachers are always after me. You can do it. We'll make time. We'll fit in your schedule. So I was like, okay. So I'll be sitting in the airport with earphones on, doing a Zoom class, talking to a bunch of sixth graders or something, you know. And then all of a sudden I go places and all these kids running up to me, Mr. TJ. I'm like, who are you? Oh, I'm in your class. I'm like, oh, okay. How you doing? You know, and then people around me like,
you're a teacher.
You're pretty popular. How do you know all these kids? You know, oh, I do homeschool classes. You know, like, you do homeschool classes.
Good.
You know, and that's when I really feel good. And Mr. TJ, I watched your video. I read your book, and it changed my life, or something like that. You know, I've even had a mom cuss me out one time.
Oh,
she said, "You coached my son a little too well." I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, mother. She said, she had me ride him around. This was like one of the first kids that I've ever coached.
Okay.
She watched me working on his house, and she would just, every day I pull up and open the gate, she would sit there and watch. And I said, oh, she's going to be trouble. And then fast forward the story, she said, can you coach my son? I said, coach your son?
Wow.
She said, yeah, show him how you're building this house, right? You're remodeling the house, right? I said, yeah, I'm updating it and doing. Teach my son. Can he ride with you? I said, yeah.
Wow.
So I pick him up in my little raggedy truck every day, and I'm a guy that loves a bucket, right? So I like buying stuff and putting motors in it. I don't do the new car stuff.
Okay.
So I pick him up, and we go buy motors and put the motor in, and we go drop wood off at a house. We go make sure the contractor did this. So years later, the guy grew up to be a millionaire.
Oh, wow.
But guess what he drives?
Buckets. A bucket.
Buckets. So
You can
that's why I'm
tell.
like, that boy got all that money and live in that big old house, and he riding around in a '79 pickup truck that's 2 different colors, 3 colors with dents in it. That makes no sense to me.
That's what he knows.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He's, why I need to impress somebody? Why I got to do this? Why I don't need that? You know, he sounds just like you. I said, well, you the one asked me to take him with me, you know? And that's how that ended up going. So it's like when I go sit at the Compton airport, it'd be the same thing. They'd be like, ooh. I have people say, TJ, go home and change.
Wow.
That's the same shirt you had on yesterday, right?
Well, because you're just so focused.
Yeah,
on
I don't care
consuming,
about all that
helping.
stuff. You know?
We can be here all day, Mr. TJ.
Right.
Thank you so much
No
again.
problem.
Is there anything you want your audience to know about you that we didn't touch?
The trade saves lives. The trades keep independence, you know. The trades created the opportunity for me to be able to own a patent, a trademark, you know, to own a business. The trades gave me the opportunity to stop troubles in my neighborhood by asking gentlemen, I'm going to teach you. You want me to help? You want a job? You want me to teach you how to start a business? I can help you. So it allowed me, that's real power in the community, to be able to say, I'm going to help you start a business. I spent $100,000 on this, and if you start the business, which I'm going to help you, I'll take that business to you. You know, I want people to know that's bringing the power back to the community, like Booker T. That's what they were doing. Lewis Adams, they were keeping the power in the community. Look, Booker T say, put the bucket right where we at, right? Now we got people in the community say, take the bucket out right here in the black neighborhood. Let's take it and put it in the white neighborhood. You know, so we need to go back to where we started off at and look at our real heroes. It's not Martin Luther King. It's Booker T, Lewis Adams, C.R. Patterson, and Carver. That's looking to them as our heroes. Oh yeah, pick up a copy of that book on tjloftin.com by TJ Loftin and Sabrina Wright. You know, and monetizing gentrification, not gentrifying your neighborhood, but monetizing it, making money and building out your neighborhood. Give the trades. It's all about the trades, y'all.
Wow. Thanks. Thanks again. It was a great time at OneonOne. Now it's time to go. We appreciate everything you give us. And remember, it's to leave a legacy to our younger generation.
Absolutely.
So what legacy you would want them to remember you as?
Keep the money in the community and teach the next generation. Take the time out and teach the young generation. It ain't all about Google and chat. It's about TJ and the youth, the adults. We need our elders to teach the lessons we learned.
On that note, guys, we'll see you on the next episode of OneonOne. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.
All right.
You're tuned in to the One-on-One Show with Dr. Lucita.
so many stuff. But now we are in the second part of the show where we're getting ready to talk to the older version of TJ. So there's so many things that he have done in his life, and you guys gonna be impressed with this incredible man, the person that he is, who, even after all the, tribulation and humble lives that he went through. Now you're gonna see what he was able to do to become the man that he is today. Now, welcome back to our second part, Mr. TJ Loftin.
Thank you.
Yes. So now, keep telling us. So now you went through lives. You did high school. You were working in McDonald's. You was making $1 million at a younger age. Now tell me, when do you realize that that's not what you want to do? You want to change the narrative. You want to do something else.
Like we were saying, I saw all these guys that took drugs out of state and took gang violence out of state and that whole idea of gangs. And I said, now that I've become an established celebrity car builder, I made a little money. I got a lot of guys behind me with money, and they always asking me, what can they do? I said, we're going to go back and help to rebuild Compton, So I want to figure out how can we go back and help Compton. So that was my goal. So right now I've joined the organization. A friend of mine named Dr. Jackie Sanderlin, she came and found us. And actually, my buddy told me to come run his nonprofit. So I was in Compton at Tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum running a nonprofit, teaching kids how to fly. So I would sponsor that and help that out. So now, for the first time, I get to sit there and bring all these young gangsters or kids that became gangbangers and bring some gangbangers in, bring in some regular kids, and I have them all there. And I'm sitting there, I'm the overseer, and I was like, you don't do this, you don't talk like that. That's your brother. Y'all work together, and and they so honored that I'm sitting there because they know I'm the lowrider guy. And all the guys they respect come to check on me, and I'm like, that's little Johnny, and that's Ricky, and that's Bobby, that's Mike.
And it didn't matter the colors at that time.
No,
so you were just
this
everybody.
was the neutral safety zone.
Wow.
So I would.
And how were you able to manage the safety zone if they were hating each other, killing each other? There was so many different anger and frustration. How were you able to bring that?
They respect the OGs.
Okay.
And they saw, I remember I'd be like, who's your OG in your neighborhood? And they'd be like, OG such and such. And I'd be like, hold on. And I would call them like, hey, I need you to come up here, man. And they come up there like, you know him? Like, oh my God, And then they'd be like, oh, he ain't gonna give you no problems. He cool. And they'd be like, okay. So they know I had that power, that I had the power of relationships, that I can call the guy that they feared or the guy that they really believed in, and he would come up there and sit there and tell us why he regret the decisions he made as a young age. So they're like, oh wow, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Going to jail doesn't make me a hero, So it was things like that. So I left. Dr. Jackie came in. Dr. Jackie Sanderlin came in. She says, I'm looking for some of you wealthy, successful Compton people to come and help give back to Compton because the school district is cutting us off.
Oh, wow.
We got school teachers paying money out of their own pockets, which they don't make enough, but they love the kids. So they're buying supplies. They're buying backpacks. They're buying all this stuff that made no sense. So I'm like, okay, we can help with that. Nice. So now I made all my lowrider guys. We have backpack giveaways, We do all types of stuff, We started off, I remember when Dr. Dre became a board member at Apple. I whispered in my buddy's ear, I'm like, hey man, we need some of them new iPad things.